Hey YouTube, you have Leonard here. Being guys and gals, Kanajo Okurisimasu, Rent a Girlfriend, we're here, we are live, we were live, we kind of still are live. Chapter 250, the review portion. So everyone, yes, I am currently still live on Twitch. Not doing the live reaction, of course, you can follow me on Twitch. The live reaction to this chapter should be up on there, so check it out. Link in the search box down below. But without further ado, as we kind of look at this chapter right now, just kind of get my initial thoughts on it as I just finished the chapter. We really are setting ourselves up for getting this whole cohabitation, the living together of Kazuya and Shizus. If by the end of all this they're not living together, I'll honestly be shocked. And I think it'd be honestly a good thing. I generally am not in favor of that. From a story standpoint, I kind of am in favor of it, because it adds a new dynamic that I don't think we've had obviously in the series. Them living together is one thing, but having the two of them actually living in the same apartment, whatever will happen from that, will be very interesting from a story standpoint, and I think it will take the story to a new chapter, to a new place that it hasn't been before. So while we kind of go through this arc, I do expect that's how this is all going to end. The two of them living together, and I think that'll be very interesting. A lot of cringe moments, I know that for a fact. And I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. This chapter in particular, we kind of break up into about, I'd say, 3 different parts. The first part has to really focus on Kazis' situation. So right now in this story, we see that Kazi is living on the couch of his grandmother's place, or his family's place, I should say, where they have the liquor store. They have the random exchange student who, again, I don't trust. I do not trust this man whatsoever. He looks shady, he's weird, and I have nothing against otaku. I consider myself a part otaku, if not full otaku. I'm sure many of us, maybe you guys watching this likewise. I don't think I've ever seen somebody who had their room as decked out as this guy did over one specific character. Like, I've seen people do stuff with like multiple anime, and they have all this different stuff. Like, I get it. I have posters, I have wall scrolls. You don't see it in here, but I have all that stuff: manga volumes, figures, you name it. But this man has literally the same character for everything. I don't know. He's sus. He seems sus to me. I don't trust him. It is what it is. Neji is having fun with that character. But the important thing is the fact that Kazi finds himself without many options. He's staying on the couch. He doesn't know where to go. They're going to probably try to kick him out because they feel as if he shouldn't be there. Kiba and Cody, we learned towards the end of the chapter, at the end of the day, are not willing to help him out either. And he doesn't have enough money to stay at another place, and it's also the off season. So at this point in time, there's not really many options for him. He's kind of stuck for at least a month until he figures out what to do. And what's kind of nice is that Kazi is thinking through all this stuff with Chizuru. He's just like, hey, at the end of the day, maybe I should just ask her to live together. It could be good. Like, is she lonely? And I love the way that Kazi is thinking here. My only problem, but it's not really a problem, but it's just sad, is that he won't take action because he convinces himself that Chizuru probably doesn't want it, that Chizuru's fine, Chizuru has no issue getting another guy, that he's expendable. But what Kazuya doesn't realize is the fact that Chizuru needs him now more than ever. She really does. Which segues me into the next portion of this whole entire chapter, is Chizuru's side of things. Guys, seeing Chizuru walk through that house, even before the panel where ultimately we see that she cries, it kind of broke me. It really did. Because you see her looking around, she's getting these little flashbacks. She's thinking about her grandfather. She's thinking about her grandmother. These different moments they had were little things that trigger it, like her sneezing, or her going, like cooking something, or going through a certain room. It triggers memories, as it should. Her grandmother just passed away, and she spent her whole life up until her college years in that home. So I don't know. I think for me that was kind of rough, and I felt really bad for Chizuru. Even for the neighbors to say like, oh, you look more and more like your mom now that you're older. It's like Chizuru can't get a break of being reminded of people that she cares about. Her mom is iffy, but she does care about her mom, that ultimately are no longer there, and she's constantly bombarded by their memories. To the point where I argue for the first time that I can remember, I'm sure she's cried before, I know she's probably cried before, but this is the first time I can remember where we had a truly vulnerable Chizuru moment, where she's alone by herself, and the tears just came. She was just there, and you see, like, she puts on an act even for herself. She doesn't want to allow herself to put her guard down, even if it's just her. At the end of the day, she's over here thinking about this stuff. She sheds a tear. She's visibly upset, but she wipes it off. She tries to stay strong, resolute. And I don't know. To one degree, you kind of have to respect Chizuru because she's very strong-willed. She really, really is. Say what you want, but Chizuru, she's a very strong person, even though she's also weak on the inside, as we all are. I really appreciate her character for that. But at the same time, this is one of those moments where I think for Chizuru, she's looking at Kazuya's phone. She's thinking to herself that she wants Kazuya. But she's played with the same thing that he does. That he doesn't need to hear from her. It's also a level of pride to some degree as well. But they both convince each other that the other doesn't necessarily need them, that they'd be bothered, that they shouldn't do this, so they don't act. And that's where now, as we get into this third phase of the chapter, Yae Morty, once again, as always, proves to be clutch. Yae Morty, super, super, super clutch. She's over here, very simple, in her cosplay, which, by the way, just a quick tangent, which I already got into on the live reaction. But guys, when we have her shirt saying Endless 8, I literally, because I know that she's into all things anime and other stuff, she's very, like, meanie be knowing. Yae Morty having an Endless 8 shirt, I automatically think of Haruhi Suzumiya, specifically season 2, the Sai of Haruhi Suzumiya. If you guys have ever watched that, you know what Endless 8 is. You know the torture that was back in maybe like 2010 or 2011. I can't remember exactly when, maybe 2009. The torture of watching Endless 8. So I see this on my screen, I still have it open. I quite frankly am triggered. Everyone, let me know in the comment section down below if you go back and you've watched Haruhi Suzumiya both seasons. Do you remember Endless 8? Do you have fond memories of it? I, for one, look back on it, I'm like, oh, that was so cool. And then I really think about it, I'm just like, nah, actually, I really hated Endless 8. It was a waste of 8 weeks of my life. But anyway, Yae Morty comes through and she's like, why don't you live with Chizuru? It just makes sense. And Kazuya's just thinking, just like, wait, what? And he's just like, I can't do that. Huh? And you have like the derp Kazuya face at the very end, which is hilarious. I loved it. But really, this is where things are going to go. Yae Morty back at it again. And I saw on the Reddit, I see people are kind of upset with Yae Morty. They don't like her character anymore because they feel like she's just a plot device. That might be the case where she is to some degree a plot device, don't get me wrong. But she's a very good plot device that's very likable. She channels the thoughts of the reader and she's able to get to some degree action out of Kazuya and Chizuru, whereas the two of them are very, very set in their ways and it's hard for them to move unless they have an external force. Is that annoying? Yes. Can I blame Yae Morty? No, I like Yae Morty a lot. She's doing good stuff. Let me look at chat quick on the Twitch side. Yeah, Walls G, I agree with you. Walls G on Twitch said that she looked at her phone and knew who she needed, but couldn't admit it to herself. If she admitted it, then she knows that she has to be his girlfriend. Now, I don't know if that it means that she has to be her girlfriend, or she has to be his girlfriend, I should say. But it would clearly signify, if she did go through with that she does miss Kazuya and that she wants him around, that in her most vulnerable moments, it's not her friends that she's calling. She has friends. It's Kazuya. That's telling. That means something. Chizuru knows that as well. She's trying to stay strong. She doesn't want to admit that necessarily to herself. She possibly also thinks that she doesn't want to bother Kazuya. Who knows? But nonetheless, I think that's really interesting, the fact that she went through that whole entire thought process. They both want each other. They both want to see each other, to be around each other in this very difficult time. They don't want to be separated. And I fully understand that. So we'll see what ends happening in the next chapter, everyone. But without further ado, I'm going to end this one. So per the usual, everyone, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you feel about this for Kazuya and Chizuru? Do you think they end up living together? I think yes. I do think that by the end of the day, it will be the case. And we'll see what happens from there. One more comment. He stood up for her with the movie and with her helping her recover from her grandmother dying. Nobody else is as close to her as that. I fully agree. I've said for the longest time, and that's why, again, the separation arc was such a painful thing for me. Because for Chizuru to have left Kazuya has done so much for her. It's not, and it doesn't mean that you have to like him for that. I've said this countless times, but you have to admit he's someone special to you. And for you to just like leave him just leave him like that and say nothing, that was pretty trash. I'm not gonna lie. Kazuya means a lot to her. Kazuya's the most important person I'd argue that she has, whether it's as a boyfriend or as a friend. He's up there. So anyway, everyone, if you like the video, subscribe, like my content is greatly appreciated as always. And with that, I'm Leonard and I'm out. Take care, everybody, and have a good one. Peace.